Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope and trust you are well, and thank you for joining us for our afternoon session. My name is Eddie, and I am the lead instructor at PLP for the web module, and I will be taking you through this course on web development. So, as you might have realized, there's only one link for our sessions. So we will be utilizing one link throughout the three sessions, but the timings remain as before. 10 a.m. for the morning session, 2 p.m. for the afternoon session, and 6:30 p.m. for the evening session. And all these times are in East African time. So please note that. Do not, do not wonder why the timetable shows the webinar is spanning for, I think, 12 hours. So we'll just be utilizing one week or one link throughout each and every session. So welcome once again. It's my pleasure to have you in this particular session. Just give me 1 minute to set up and then we can proceed. So welcome once again. Welcome once again to this particular module. So we'll be going through the web development module for the next 8 weeks or so. This particular module is structured to give you a head start in developing websites and web applications. So we'll be going through the basics right from seeing the building blocks of web pages to seeing how we can style them and also seeing how we can add some form of interactivity to those web pages. So each and every week we'll be going through a particular and specific topic. And this week we will be beginning with introduction. We'll be beginning with introduction. So please give me your undivided attention as we go through this. I will definitely give you some time to ask your questions and see how I can assist you. So what is web development? So web development in very, very simple terms is the process of building, creating, and maintaining websites and web application. So any activity that revolves around building, creating, maintaining. So those actions, operations that revolve around those activities, that is what we refer to as web development. Specifically, when it comes to websites and web applications. So that is what web development is. That is what web development is. So web development is typically divided into three major categories. One, we have the front end development, and this one primarily focuses on visual and interactive aspects of a website or web application. So, what are you actually presenting to an end user? That is the presentation of your website or web application, what the user can see, what they can interact with, what they can hear. That is what we're referring to as the front end. So the images, the nice designs, the nice colors, and so on and so forth. That is what we refer to as front end development. And then number two, we have back end development. So this is where you as a developer manage the data portion of your web applications. So things like databases, your application and business logic, that one mostly resides on the back end of your application. And finally, we have full stack development. So full stack development simply brings front and back together such that as a developer, you can easily and comfortably scaffold an entire application that has both a front and back end that are interacting to provide a certain service or application to an end user. So those are the three major categories that we have in web development. And remember, as an aspiring developer, you can choose which particular field that you want to specialize in. Which one do you want to focus your career on? So that one, the choice is entirely up to you. If you are more into design, then you can head into the front-end development. If you are more into application and business logic, you can head to back-end development. Or if you want to bring everything together, then you can focus on full stack development. So for this particular first phase of web development, our main focus will be mostly on the front end of websites and web application. How do we create them? How do we define their structure? How do we style them, look them more appealing? How do we add interactivity to them? So that is what we'll be going through in the next 8 weeks or so. So why? What is the purpose of web development? What is the purpose of web development? The most major purpose of getting to know how to develop websites and web application is simply to create online presence. Simply to create online presences. We live in the digital age. And almost everyone, from individuals to businesses to organizations to governments, everyone wants an online presence. Because we live in a digital age. Nowadays, you almost do everything online. From registration to shopping You do almost everything online. You do not have to go physically to a place anymore, other than you just access a website or a web application or even a mobile application and interact with a service there. So that is one of the most major purposes of web development, to just create that online presence. And number two, simply to provide information to a large audience. Provide information to a large audience with a website or a web application. Your information will be available across the whole world. Your information will be available across the whole world. So that is also another purpose of web development. Not forgetting e-commerce and business growth. If you want to advance your business, if you want to go further into business, then you cannot underscore the importance of an online presence. And also bringing services closer to your end users, bringing services closer to your end users. So those are some of the purposes that we will be looking to fulfill in web development. So how do you actually get into this web development? So like any other form of development, you need to know the building blocks. You need to know the building blocks of web development. And that is where HTML comes in. That is where HTML comes in. So HTML is a basic building block of a web page. So this one simply defines structure and meaning, defines the structure and meaning of a web page. That is the purpose of HTML. And HTML in full refers to hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. So that is what we use to define structure of web pages and their content. Hypertext markup language. So contrary to popular belief, HTML is not a programming language. So once you are doing your CVs after this course, please do not list HTML as a programming language. That one is very, very incorrect. HTML is a markup language. It is a markup language. A markup language is a language that is used to define structure. How is something built up? How is something built up? How is something structured? So that is what the purpose of a markup language. This is not a programming language. So currently we are on version 5 of HTML. We are on version 5 of HTML. Yeah, over the years, as you all know, change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. Things change, they are improved. So over the years, we have gone through and seen a progression of the HTML markup language. And currently, we are on version 5 of the HTML markup language. So here at PLP, our norm is to do things practically. Our norm is to do things practically. So we are going to open our code editors, our IDEs. So as a rule of thumb on PLP, we utilize Microsoft Visual Studio Code. And I hope that was informed, you were informed during your software engineering classes. That is the ID we utilize at PLP. So please open your Visual Studio Code editors, create a directory for this particular week or for this particular lesson. And that is where we will be doing our work for day. So we are going to see that HTML consists of a series of elements, and these ones are just the basic building blocks. A series of elements. Take the scenario of a construction site that is building a house. Elements, we can refer to elements as those building blocks of that house. So those series of elements are what make up a HTML web page. And we are going to see how do we define these elements? How do we define these elements? So let me switch to my VS Code. Yeah, so once you've opened your VS Code, that is the interface you'll come across. At the top, we have the menu bar where you have the menus, you have a search box and other menus that you can interact with. To the side, we have the icons menu. We have the icons menu. At the top is the file explorer, followed by the search icon, source control icon, run and debug icon, extensions icon, and I don't think you have this one. This one you have to install another extension, but all the same. So before we continue, I would like you to navigate to the extensions icon. Just click on that. Click on that. It should open a dialog window to your right. And here I want you to search for live server. Search for an extension that is called live server and install it. Live server and install it. Should be the very, very first one by Retweak Day. Please install that one. Shouldn't take long to install. Just a few minutes and you should be okay. Now, you may need to restart your or relaunch your VS Code in order for that extension to work. So once you're finished installing, just close and open VS Code again. Yeah, so I'll give you a chance to ask your questions. I will give you a chance to ask your questions. Anything pressing, we can put it on the Q&A. Anything pressing, you can place it on the Q&A. Otherwise, let us focus on the session. Now, so we've said the building blocks of HTML is what we refer to as HTML elements. HTML elements. So these HTML elements are made up of, let me just do a new file here. HTML elements. So these ones are made up of things we call tags, attributes, and the actual content. Tags, attributes, and the actual content. So we can start by defining tags. We can start by defining tags. So tags are what are used to define the HTML elements. Tags are what is used to define the HTML elements. And tags are usually enclosed by angle brackets. That is what I'm referring to as angle brackets. And these usually come in pairs. They usually come in pairs. So we have an opening tag. We have an opening tag. So this would be an example. So that would be the tag name. And then we also have a closing tag. And the keyword here is usually. They usually come in pairs. Keyword, usually. So they usually come in pairs. So for the opening tag, that one is only surrounded by the angle brackets. But for the closing tag, we have a forward slash within that specific tag, just before the tag name. So usually they come in these two pairs. They usually come in these two pairs. A classic example of a HTML tag is the paragraph tag. And the paragraph tag is denoted by P. The paragraph tag is denoted by P. This is an example of the paragraph tag. And in between the tags is where you place your content. So I can say content goes here. In between the tags is where you place your content. This is where you place your content. So this is an example of a typical HTML tag or a HTML element. So you have your opening tag, you have your content, and you have your closing tag. So the whole of this is what we refer to as a HTML element. And its constituent parts are the tags and the content. The tags and the content. So remember I mentioned that usually tags usually come in pairs. There are cases where that is not the point. For example, we have tags that do not have the closing tag. These do not have the closing tag. And these ones, we refer to them as self-closing tags or void elements. Self-closing tags or void elements. So these ones do not have a closing tag. They do not have a closing tag. This is the example I've given here. This is the image tag. The image tag is used to embed images within your web pages. So if you want to display an image on your web page, then you embed it using the image tag denoted by IMG. We also mentioned another item called attributes. Attributes. So attributes simply provide additional information. This one simply provide additional information, additional info about the element. These provide additional information about the element. So if you need to provide additional information about any element within your HTML code, then you use attributes for that. And the attributes here usually are located within the opening tag. They are located within the opening tag. So for example, if let us take this paragraph. If I had a paragraph like so, and I want to do additional info about this one. So maybe I want to identify that paragraph. I can use the ID attribute and give this a name. So I can say this is the welcome paragraph. Welcome paragraph. So this provides additional information about this particular paragraph. That provides additional information about that particular paragraph. So we are going to see the different elements that make up a HTML web page. We are going to see the different elements that make up a HTML element, our HTML web page, and how the basic structure of a HTML web page looks like. Okay. So we are going to create a new file. There are several ways in which we can create a new file on your VS Code. Whichever way you prefer is fine. So first way is click on File, select New File. Click on File, select New File, and on the pop-up that appears on your page, you can put in the file name. So the default web page, when you're creating websites, default web page is always the index.html file. That is the default web page. So give your file the name index.html. Index.html. So the extension.html identifies that file as a HTML file. Okay, very, very important. So if you click on enter, it will open the File Explorer, Save or Create File dialog box. And from here, you can select where you want to save that file. Very important, please organize your work. Please organize your work so that you minimize confusion during the lessons. Okay, so I will create my file there. That is one of the ways you can create a file. Way number 2 is on the icons to your left. The first icon is the File Explorer icon. The first icon is the File Explorer icon. And on the window that appears when you click on it, you have these icons. The first icon there after the directory name is the new file icon. So you can click on there. It will give you a space, an input box for entering the file name. So you can simply do that once again, index.html. That is, or if you have already not created, that is way number 2 of creating a file, okay? That is way number 2 of creating a file. Okay. Okay, so I hope your file is created. Now, that we've created our HTML, our default HTML file, we are going to go through the basic structure of our web page. At the very basic, how does a web page look like? How is it structured? At the very, very basic. That is what we are going to see. So from the very top, the first thing that you need to do is have a document declaration. And we do this by using the doc type We do that by using the doc type keyword. The doc type keyword. And you see, the beauty of using an IDE is you have things like code completion and code suggestions. So you do not have to type everything up. You have that working for you right out of the box. So this is called the doc type declaration. This is called the doc type declaration. So this one is very, very important. This is very, very important. The doc type declaration declares this document as a HTML5, no, sorry, as a HTML file. It declares this as a HTML5 while also specifying the version of HTML that we are currently using. Okay, that is the importance of this line of code. So this one simply defines this as a HTML file, while the second bit that I have highlighted simply declares that this is a HTML5 document. As I mentioned earlier, HTML5 is the latest version of HTML that we are currently using. All others are now obsolete. I do not think there's anyone using even version 4. Maybe very old websites may be using version 4. Next, we have what we refer to as the root element. The root element. The root element of the web page. The root element, and this one is defined by the HTML tag. The root element is defined by the HTML tag. So with this one wraps all other elements within your web page. This one wraps all other elements within your web page. That is its purpose. And it also defines the document as a HTML file. It also defines the document as a HTML file. Remember, we said HTML is a markup language. It is a markup language. It is used for structuring. It is used for structuring. Okay, so the HTML tag is the root element. It wraps all other elements within your web page. Okay. Next, we have different sections. And our first section is the head section. The first section is the head section. This section is also very important. Remember, we are defining the basic structure of a web page. At the very least, this is what you will find on every single web page that you visit. This is how it will look like. At the very least, it will have this particular structure. So for the head section, this one contains meta information or information about information. That is what meta actually means. Information about information. About your web page. Information about your web page. What is your page about? Who created this page? Are there external resources to this page? And so on and so forth. So all that will be found within the head section. All that will be found within this section. And one of the most common elements within the head section is the title of your web page. So if you navigate to any particular website on your browser, then on the browser tab, you will see a title. Maybe the name of the website or the name of the website plus which page you are currently on. That is what we are referring to as the title. So we can give our web page a title. It's my web page. I can call it my web page. Of course, the head may contain other information as I've described earlier. You can have the content, a simple summary of the content represented by this particular page. You can have the name of the person who created the web page, and so on and so forth. Okay, but as we proceed with our development journey, we will be adding more and more to our head section. Okay, that was the first section. The next section is the body. The next section is the body. This is also very, very crucial. Body section, the body section. So in the event that you want any information to be displayed on your web page, any content to be displayed on your web page, then it must be on the body section. It must be on the body section. Please note, the information on the head section is not displayed on the web page. Okay? This one is not any information that you specify here on the head section will never be displayed on the web page. Someone may ask, what about the title? And my answer to that will be, the title is not on the web page. The title is on the browser tab. Please, very, very clear distinction, okay? So anything that you want to be displayed on the web page must reside within the body tag or the body section of your web page. Okay, so this is where your text, your images, your tables, your videos, your forms, this is where all of that will be displayed, or this is where you will define all of that, and therefore it will be displayed when you launch the web page on a web browser. So we can just do a paragraph. Let us do a paragraph and say, this is my very first web. You can say, this is my very first web page. This is my very first web page. Okay, so there we have it, the basic structure of a HTML web page. At the very least, at the very least, your web page should have those different sections. Your web page should have those different sections. At the very least. Number one, the document declaration type. Very, very important. Number two, the root element that wraps around every other element on your web page. Number three, the head section that wraps around any information about your web page. Number four, the body of your web page that contains all visible content. Any content that you want to be visible must be within the body section. Must be within the body section. So how do we launch this file? How do we display it on the browser? So there are three ways. There are, is it three or four? We'll just go through them. So way number one, you can press F5 on your keyboard. You can press F5 on your keyboard. You can press F5 on your keyboard. This will launch your browser, your default browser on your machine with the web page displayed there. With the web page displayed there. If it does not launch immediately, you will see a pop-up. You'll see a pop-up with the list of installed browsers on your local machine. Okay, so you can just select one, click on it, and the web page will be displayed on that browser. That is step number one. The other way you can launch this file, is by using run and debug, of which F5 is the shortcut. You can use run and debug. The icon is here. You simply click on run and debug, and it should launch the file on a browser. Okay, that one was number two. Number three, you can use the live server. So depending on which extension you install, there are two ways in which you can do that. So one is right-click on the file from the file explorer and click on open with live server. Click on open with live server. It should open the file on your default browser. Or two, at the very bottom of your VS Code, if you see anywhere written open with live server or live server, you can click on that and it should launch your file on your default browser. And if worse comes to worse, if all those other methods are not working for you, you can open your directory. Navigate to where you've saved your file. And once you've located the file, just double click on it. It should open on your default browser. So all those ways are valid ways of launching your HTML web page. All those are valid ways of launching your HTML web page. Okay, I hope that is clear. So I will just give me a minute to go through these questions. I see what we have. Yes, it is the same as go live. Someone is asking, explain the indentation. When it comes to writing code, it's usually a preference. However you want to write your code, nobody can force you to write it in any particular way. But I think it looks much neater if it is indented. Looks much more readable. You can follow through the code and actually see what belongs where. So yeah, indentation is a choice. If you do not want to do it, it's fine. It is fine if you don't want to do it. But it's also a best coding practice. Just organize your code very well. Yeah, let me see another question. I won't address assignment submission now. That will be at the very tail end of the session. Someone is asking, what is the ID used for? I'm assuming the ID that we defined for the paragraph. So ID is used to, just like your national ID, it is used for identification. So this one, the ID attribute uniquely identifies an element on your web page. Just like your ID, your national ID or your school ID identifies you in school, or your national ID identifies you in your country. Same applies to the ID attribute when it comes to HTML elements. They simply identify an element within your web page. To me, no, we are not going to use Notepad++. But then again, if you're comfortable with any other code editor, that is your choice. But for purposes of each and every session at PLP, we use Visual Studio Code, okay? So all my examples, all my practical coding sessions will be through Visual Studio Code. Okay. We're going to use normal CSS or Tailwind. Hey, you're coming so fast, Victor. We are going to be doing normal CSS. So as a rule of thumb, let me just explain something. If you want to be a good developer, please pay attention first to the basics. Gain knowledge on the basics first. Do not rush to a library or a framework and you do not understand the underlying architecture of those libraries and frameworks. Because trust you me, things like React, things like Tailwind, as Victor is mentioning, all those have an underlying structure and architecture. For Tailwind, it is just basic CSS. For React, you're just doing JavaScript and HTML. So understand the underlying infrastructure first and the architecture before you can jump to those libraries and frameworks. That is how you become a good developer. Okay. Mm, okay. Which extension can you install for beautifying VS Code? That one I have no idea. Victor, I have no idea of that one. Maybe your classmates can help out. Uh, hmm. You're not able to see my screen. Probably it's an issue with your connection. Because of the live server is just to help us. At the moment you make changes, they are automatically synced to the browser. So if you launch your file with the live server, the moment you just make changes, you can see them immediately on the browser. So that is the purpose of the live server. Very, very interesting and wonderful feature. Yeah, I think I've covered questions. Yeah, please, any pressing question, just put it on the Q&A section, kindly. Just place it on the Q&A section if something is pressing so that I can attend to it. Yeah, so I hope you've seen and I hope you have I hope you've seen and I hope you have been able to successfully launch your successfully launch your very, very first web page. So just by a confirmation, let me see a show of thumbs up on the chat box if you have been able to. If you have been able to, on the chat box, thumbs up, thumbs up. And the problem is people don't follow instructions. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up. Very good, very good. So for anyone that is not yet, I'm going to lower all the hands. Anyone, if you are not able to do that, raise your hand. Let me see. If you are not able to, please, and let us focus. Let us focus on the session. Anything not related to this session, I'll not give you a chance to speak. Good, good, good. So for those who are able to successfully launch a web page, congratulations. You have been able to create and display your very, very first web page. You should be very, very proud of yourself. So let me go through this raise hands. Sophia, Enoch, and Emmanuel in that order, please. Sophia, Enoch, and Emmanuel in that order.
Yes. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's Enoch. Hello, can you hear me?
Who is speaking?
It's Enoch.
Enoch.
Yes.
Can we please let Sophia speak first, kindly?
Okay.
Yeah. Sophia was first. Yes, Sophia, you can unmute. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Enoch, you can proceed.
Okay. The problem with mine. Okay. What is with my VS Code? On this side, there's a that shows the black box AI agent. Does it have any impact on my VS Code? Or
I'm not sure. I can't be sure. Are you having any challenges?
okay, is it able to interfere with my coding
I
or I
don't
can
think
just
so.
proceed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, is that all?
Because I was wondering what is the role of the black box AI?
Yeah. Now, Black Box is an AI agent, just like ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Cloud AI. It is just an AI agent. It's just the same way you would use any other AI agent. So,
Okay, so when I try to, let's say, search for something to install, there's no way it can interfere with my.
not sure. Why did you install Black Box AI agent first?
Mm. Okay, there was a project we were working with somebody, then
Hmm.
unfortunately I just found it installed.
Okay, it won't have interfere, or you can just remove it if you have concerns.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Sophia, Emmanuel. Hello? Hello?
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Yeah, it's Timothy speaking.
Timothy, I'm seeing a Sophia here.
I was wondering too. Okay, my problem is,
Yep.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes, proceed.
Yes.
Okay, at first I didn't get how you started the HTML elements, the tags, the what, those meaning apogee. Then second, if I open my, wait.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Just a minute, Mohammed. I don't know if Timothy was done.
Okay, excuse me, sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, if
Uh,
I open the code in my browser,
Yep.
it displays the HTML head and the title and the body, unlike yours that only displays my web page.
Okay. We'll need to see what you've done. So be ready to share your screen. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So just join as a panelist and get ready to share your screen. Yes, Mohammed.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. This is Mohammed. I would like to ask, in between the body tags, you you put paragraph. So is it possible to put headings, the heading of my web in there?
Yeah, one step at a time, one step at a time. Okay, we'll get to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Thank you for your question. Emmanuel.
Hello, hello,
Yes.
hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't able to run my program before, but I later clicked on run and debug. So
Uh-huh.
it took me it suggested the web I wanted to use. So I used Chrome. So it took just now. And I wanted to know, so all it takes to write this program, write the program now, has to just do with everything in this HTML, like the head, the title, the body, and all.
I didn't get your question.
Give us the basics. He said the basic has to do with the hypertext problem. This contains the title, the head, the body. So it is this head and title and body. That is where the whole content of the web come in. I'm asking.
I'm not getting your question. What is your question exactly?
I'm asking if the whole content of my web will come in the body aspect and the head and the title aspect, or the title area. That is what will contain the whole content of my web. Or is there any additional um, um, outside the HTML um, phrase we use? Is that where everything will come in?
Everything displayable is resides within the body, never the head. Okay.
But I typed something
No,
onto
the
the head.
title is not displayed on the web page. The title is on the
It's just
browser
title,
tab.
but
Hmm?
the head is it will display. If I put in
No,
anything in the head, it will display.
no. Please, I've made myself very, very clear. The head section, nothing is displayed on the head section. Okay? Anything that you want to be displayed on your web page goes on the body section.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Let me go to Timothy, if you are ready to share your screen.
Okay, so I'm ready. Okay, I'm trying to click it, but it is not sharing.
Can you try now?
Not yet.
No?
Not yet, sir.
You can try rejoining. I'm not sure.
It doesn't click. Just
Can you check now?
no. It isn't working.
I don't understand why. Can we try rejoining the webinar? I'm not sure why yours is not working.
I leave first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next I have Mohammed, Gladys, Anne, and Moses in that order. Hello, Mohammed, Ali Abdi, Gladys Njoka. Hello.
Thank you, teacher. I'm finished with my question. Thank you.
Okay, hi.
Hello.
I don't know what, hello. So I don't know what I
Yes.
had. I had a question on the identification, the ID. Or let me share my screen and see. Let me share my
We are
screen,
not
please.
yet on IDs, but okay,
Oh,
you can share your screen.
no. If you're not yet on IDs, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that is on week 3 is when we'll get to interact with them. Eh?
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so my question is actually on, is it a must that we do the spacing?
Sorry?
The spacing.
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 Space.
Yes, I'm asking spacing.
Yeah.
The indentation. I've said it is your choice. Eh? If you don't want to indent, that is your choice. But it's a good coding practice. Eh? Just organize your code very well.
Oh, okay. And will you pardon on about the HTML elements?
Yeah, sure. I'll do a recap.
Okay. Thank you.
And Brenda.
Hello. So my question is on the. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
So you see on your screen there is the first one is doc type, but on mine the first one is index HTML.
Index.html is the name of the file.
So it's number one. I can see the numbers 1, 2, 3.
Oh, index.html was supposed to be the name of the file.
Or maybe you can repeat on after you click file. What do you? So I clicked file and then I wrote index.html, index.html, and then the rest I. But it's supposed to be like the first one is supposed to be doc type, but mine is index.html.
Did you save your file?
No, you're supposed to save first before you go to file.
Yeah, you're creating the file first, so it needs to be saved. Eh? You create and save the file. So that is where you give it the name index.html.
So when you're creating the file, you're still creating it on the Visual Studio Code.
Yes.
Okay.
So we gave two ways in which you can create a file. Use the file menu, you select new file, and this is where you type in your file name. If you click on enter, let me do another file.
New file, new text file, or new file.
If you click on enter, it will bring for you a create file dialog box. Then you just click on create file. Or on VS Code, there's the file explorer. You have this icon, the first icon after the directory name. This is where you can create a new file,
After
and then you enter your file name.
okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, next. Brenda Helen. Anumbui, Dennis, Chadwick, Mohammed Isaac, Abdullah. Yeah, in that order.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I would like to ask if you can just leave while you're writing the code the head section, although it's not displaying.
Sorry?
Can you leave the head section like the title or the head, something while you're coding? You just write HTML then the body, although it's not displaying.
Can you leave? I'm not understanding. If you can leave it out or
You can leave it. Can you leave it out the head or the head section?
no. Nope, you cannot leave it out.
Okay, thank you.
You cannot leave it out. So as I have explained this, as I have explained, this is the basic structure. This is the basic structure. Your HTML page needs to have the declaration type, needs to have the root element, needs to have a head section, and needs to have a body section. That one is very basic. You cannot fail to get this on any web page. You cannot fail to have those different sections. So it is important to have those sections. This head, we've said it usually contains information about your web page. So title is not the only element that will appear here. As we progress with this particular journey of web development, we'll be adding more into the head section, and you'll get to see the importance of that. So no, it cannot be left out. Okay? Timothy, are you ready to share? Timothy, still there? You ready to share? Okay. Chadwick, Dennis, Anne, I have George, Abel Henry, Abdiaziz. One who's ready, please can proceed.
Yes, George.
Hello?
Yes, George.
Yeah. You're breaking, George. Can't hear you clearly.
Can I speak?
Yes, you can speak.
Yes, this is George. Can I speak?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear you, George.
on my VS Code working page,
Mhm.
I am. Hello?
Proceed, George. I can hear you.
I think my network is unstable. Okay, on my on my VS Code working space, I'm not able to go past the second line where we were writing, we were defining the HTML as being the construction. You said something about that, the construction site.
You're unable to proceed to the next line.
Yes. I don't know why.
Even after using the enter key, nothing.
Nothing is happening.
Yeah, that one is very strange. Maybe we can also see your
Or
screen.
maybe I keep trying. I don't know.
You can share your screen. Let me see what you're dealing with.
As attendee or a panelist?
Panelist.
Oh, okay.
Abdiaziz. See, Kelvin, Sylvia, Luca.
It has refused also to share. I'm sorry.
Hello.
It's okay. I'll just keep trying until it operates. It accepts.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Kelvin.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, my question was if I wanted to include the styles, the CSS,
Yes, Kelvin.
should I include it on the body section or above the body section?
Yeah, no, so step by step, so that is actually in week 3,
Yeah,
but styles are included on the head,
or on
never
the
on the
head.
body.
Because I tried and it altered with it takes it adopts the whole page looks the same. It's
Probably then you've not defined your styles correctly, or you're referencing every element.
okay.
Yeah, so cannot comment more on that because that one is on week 3.
Okay, I'll wait.
Hello, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Luca. Yes, Luca.
Oh, are you referring to me? Because I'm the one speaking.
Yes, yes. I don't have any other Luca.
I mean,
Yes, Luca,
it's
proceed.
Timothy again speaking.
I don't see
It's
anyone
Timothy
else
again
speaking.
speaking.
Ah,
I'm
Timothy,
wondering,
why are you not using your real name? You know, you'll miss out on the
even me myself,
attendance sheet.
I'm confused myself.
Yeah, you're using different names.
I don't know why it is appearing like that. Or
That is very
maybe
strange.
I don't know, but I'm back.
Can you try joining as a panelist and sharing your screen? I don't know, it's not working. Kelvin Masharia, Lucy Amarachi, and Christopher. Anyone ready? You can proceed to speak.
Hi, can you get me?
Hello?
Hi. Hi.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Proceed.
it's Lucy. It's Lucy speaking. After me, I'm here at live server. After installing the live server, I'm just stuck there.
Have you created your HTML page?
No, I'm stuck.
Okay, I'll do a recap. Just let me finish up with the others. We're going to do a recap. Huh?
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Um, Timothy, if you are ready, just try sharing your screen.
Okay, I'm ready.
Something wrong with the. Are you able to share your screen? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, my problem was if I try to open the codes in my browser, this is what it looked like.
Okay, even before you just
Huh?
can you close down one machine or mute it? The issue is one, your file name is incorrect.
This one.
Yes. You've given your directory the name index.html. Your file is the one that has to have the extension .html. So that is one mistake. Mistake number two, your code is also not correct.
Okay.
Your code is also not correct. Line number one is fine. The document type. I don't see the closing tag for element. I don't see the closing tag for the head, closing tag for title, closing tag for body, closing tag for paragraph. So I'm going to do a recap of what you've done. So please follow through.
Okay.
But start by renaming your file name.
Can I create another one or I just rename?
Just rename.
Okay.
Just right click on it. Should be a rename somewhere at the very bottom. Index.html. That is fine. Just press enter. Not valid as a
Not
file or
responding.
folder. Okay. Please choose a different name. Why? That is strange. Can you rename your directory?
This one.
Yeah, just open your file explorer from yeah. Where have you saved that? Just rename it. Yeah, rename this directory. Rename it to something else, week one or something.
This is this one.
No, it is this one, index.html. That is the one you're supposed to rename.
Hello, Aga. Start drop.
You'll need to just close VS Code.
Okay, now this. I think it's done.
Yeah, go back to VS Code and rename your file to index.html and then wait for the recap, right? Yeah, so where were we?
Is it? I think that's okay.
Okay, wait for the recap. Huh?
Okay.
Stop
Can I stop
sharing.
sharing?
Yeah. Hello. Next. Sorry about that. Maybe let me just do a recap because I see it, time is how much gone. Okay. Okay. So first thing you do after you need to create your files. That is the very first thing that you do. So you need to create a file and give it the .html extension, .html extension. That is the very, very first thing you do. So we say there are two ways in which you can create a file. One, you can use file, new file, and then type in the name of your file there. It will pop up a dialog box, and then you'll create the file. Or you can use the file explorer icon. And here, just after the directory name, you have these icons. The first icon will give you the option to create a new file. You just enter the file name here and give it the .html extension, okay? So after creating your file, when defining a web page, the very first line is the document declaration type, So this one is very important as it defines your HTML version, the version of HTML that you are using. Okay, this one is very, very important. So doc type is a keyword. It is a keyword. That is why it is in capital. It is a keyword in HTML. And the second portion, the HTML now is the one that defines this as the actual version of HTML that we are using, okay? That is the purpose of this line of code. Line number 2 is the HTML root element. The root element. Now, the root element serves the purpose of wrapping each and every other element within your web page. Each and every other element within your web page. That is one purpose. Purpose number 2 is also, it defines this as a HTML file. Defines this as a HTML file. So it has 2 functions here. It wraps every other element on your page, and it also defines this as a HTML document or file. Then we head to the sections. We have 2 major sections. 2 major sections. The first section is the head section. The head section is used to provide or define and specify information about your web page. So you can define here, I'm the one who created this page. You put that information here. You can put keywords here. Keywords are words that uniquely identify your website or your web page. You can also place them here. You can put links to external resources, such as styling files, as someone asked earlier. You can place them here. But the most common information placed within the head section is the title. And this simply gives a title to your web page. And if you open any browser, let me navigate to google.com. If you open any browser, what you see here at the top on the browser tab, that is what we are referring to as the title. Please note, it is not displayed on the web page. This is the web page. Anything that appears here in the middle, that is the web page. Okay? So if you want anything to be displayed on your web page, then you place it where? You place it on the body section. So let me go back and set up my title. So anything that I want to be displayed on the web page goes where? On the body section. So let me just do a paragraph here. I can say, imagine this is my first web page. Okay, as simple as that. So any web page that you visit, that will be the basic structure. It cannot fail to have the document declaration type. It cannot fail to have the root element. It cannot fail to have the head section. It will not fail to have a title. At the very least, it will not fail to have a title. It cannot fail to have a body section. Okay? So these few elements are the ones that make up the basic structure of a web page. So you can save all this, and as we mentioned, let me just open this chat up. Let me open this chat. The chat open. Okay. What are the ways in which you can launch your web page from VS Code? What are the different ways in which you can launch your web page? On the chat box, if you will. F5, very good, Helen. Live server, very good, Susan, Beth. Very nice, very nice. Very, very nice. So those are your options for launching the web page. You can either press F5, and that is a shortcut for the run and debug. So you're pressing that, you'll be given a list of options and your browsers will be listed there. Just select one browser and your page will open. You can use the live server option where you go to your Explorer, right click on the file and click on open with live server. Or as someone mentioned on the chats earlier, you can use the go live. There's a go live option. I'm not sure where it is, but somebody mentioned that go live. Or from your file explorer, just navigate to where you save the file and double click on it. It should open on your default browser. I hope we are all clear. Okay. Yeah, I hear it's on the bottom right of VS Code, the go live. But remember, not everyone has the same installation as everyone, so we might not have the go live option. Like myself, I don't have that one. So if it is there, well and good. If it is not, you have so many options. Okay. So that forms our basis for the basic HTML page. Maybe we can just go through some other basic HTML elements before the end of our session. Before the end of our session, we can go through some other basic HTML elements. Okay. So so far we've seen a paragraph. We also have headings. So headings are just as the name suggests. These ones are used to define headings within your web pages. So headings are denoted by the tag name H followed by a level, and they span from level 1 to level 6. Level 1 being the largest and level 6 being the smallest. I can call this website heading. So I'll just do H1 and H6 so that we can see the difference between the sizes. Another heading. So headings are formatted differently from paragraphs, as you are going to see. Where's my page? Yeah, headings are formatted differently from paragraphs, as you see. So that is my H1 heading. As you can see, it is much larger, it is bolder. And then this is H6. H6 is a much smaller heading. Of course, I've zoomed in my page, but I think you get the gist. That is the original size. Oh, you can't see my my page. Oh, I'm sorry. Share this. Oh, my apologies. Yeah. So I hope that is visible. Yeah, so that is H1, the H1 heading. And this one is H6. H6 is even smaller than a paragraph, I think. We just reset this and we see the actual size. Yeah, H6 is even smaller than the paragraph. But as you note, the headings are formatted differently. They are bolder than the paragraphs. Another common element that you would come across is a common element that you would come across is a link or a hyperlink. So a link is defined using the anchor tag. And the anchor tag is denoted using the A. That is how we define a link. Between it, we can have our content. Let us say visit facebook.com. Visit facebook.com. Let me just increase that. Visit facebook.com. So with the anchor tag, this is where we are going to see the use of an attribute. We are going to see the use of an attribute. The most important one here is the href attribute. And the href attribute in this case simply defines the location of where you want to navigate your user to. That is the purpose of links. You see, they are simply used to navigate people around maybe the internet or your website. Okay, so this one defines where you want to navigate your user to. Once they click on this link, where will they be redirected to? So with the anchor tag, you can either one, redirect someone to a different section on the same web page, or two, redirect someone to a different page within your website, or three, redirect someone externally away from your page to a totally different website. So this href attribute is the one that defines that. So for this one, we are going to redirect outside of our web page. So I'll just do https facebook.com. I think it is facebook.com. Save that. Go back to my browser. And there I have my link. So clicking on this should redirect me to facebook.com. Clicking to that should redirect me to facebook.com. Let me go back. But as we proceed, we will showcase the other redirections, maybe to another web page and another section of the same web page and so on and so forth. Okay? Yeah, I don't think there are any other common and basic elements that we need to go through. Next week, we'll be covering advanced HTML. So that is where we will get to see how do you interact with images, tables, forms, lists, and so on and so forth, okay? So for today, we were just going through the basic structure, and that is what we have. But just before we leave, maybe there's another very important group of elements that I would want us to touch base on, and these are referred to as semantic elements. Semantic HTML elements. So this is a special group of elements. These ones, they clearly describe their purpose. These semantic elements, they clearly describe their purpose. Clearly describe purpose. Without even me explaining to you, if I do a semantic element, you will definitely know what its use and purpose is for. Okay, that is the purpose of semantic elements. Purpose or meaning. So for example, let me go back to my index file. For example, we have a semantic element called header. Without even me telling you, you would immediately know that this is used for a header section. This is used for a header section. So let me paste my headings there. And we also have a main. We also have a main element. So for that one, I'll put my main content. And finally, another one, very common, a footer. You can also have a footer. This is where you display information at the bottom of your page. Footers are for that purpose. So here I can have 2025 all rights reserved. A copyright symbol. We put a copyright symbol. All rights reserved. So let me save this and see on the browser. Of course, you will not see this is a header, this is main, but semantic elements help you to improve readability in your code. They make your code much more readable and organized. And also they serve a purpose when it comes to what we refer to as search engine optimization. They serve a very good purpose when it comes to that. Search engine optimization is just making sure your website is structured correctly such that when search engines are searching the web for something in particular and they come across your website, they can have an easy time identifying your website because it is well organized. So these semantic elements are very, very important when you're building your websites. Yeah, so you wouldn't see the clear distinctions, but at least you know that they are there. You can look up other semantic elements such as nav for navigation. We have sections. We have a side for side menus or sidebars. We have figures. We have figure caption. We have time for time and date, and so on and so forth. So maybe at your own time, you can interact with those other different semantic elements. So yeah, I think I've come to the end of my session. Any question up to that bit? Any question, please feel free to ask.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
How can I open my browser? I think I'm lost.
Browser. We've mentioned here there are numerous ways of opening your file on your browser. One, F5. Press F5 on your keyboard. While
No,
on VS Code. Sorry?
Okay.
Are you able to?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Kelvin Christopher. Lalele. Ridge Jr., Wilson Gatia, Lindiwe.
Hi.
Mohammed. Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to ask with regards to opening your VS Code. So I've noticed with my VS Code, when I open it, it has the history, like it reloads the history. So I wanted to know, how do I clear that? And then my second question then is, when you do add extra elements, do you have to save them, or do you just F5 and it runs?
Yes, you definitely have to save your files before rerunning them for the new changes to take effect.
Do I save on the actual on VS Code?
Yes, that is where we are working out of.
Okay, and where's the
Yeah.
save icon? I seem to have missed that one.
Save, you can do Control+S.
Control+S.
Yeah, that is the fastest, or file save.
Okay. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Control+S. And then with regards to clearing the work editor, because I've noticed that when every time I'll finish working on it, when I open it, it reloads the old work that I was doing. How do I clear that?
If it opens the old work that you are doing, old files that you are working on,
Yes, old files that I was working on.
there's really no. I've had the same problem, but I think you'll need to change to your new working files every single time, because I've also had the same issue. So anytime you're working on a new project, just begin by opening that project.
So open it where on the folder? Open
Yes.
folder. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so I click open folder and then I just create the new project.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone
Hello.
else? Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Who is speaking?
Rich.
Yes, Rich.
So I want to commit my files to my GitHub, but then I don't want to use this source control that is on Visual Studio. Like I want to use the terminal mostly, but it's already connected. So how do I unlink it so that I only use the terminal? I don't want it to show that I have like two commits that need to be done. I don't want to commit directly from Visual Studio. I want to use the terminal.
You don't want to commit directly from
this source control feature that is on Visual Studio.
That one just gives a notification. You don't have to do it from there. You can do it from the terminal.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Actually, from my side, I wanted to ask a question of which you answered it previously. It's just that I cannot type on the chat. It's written chat disabled, but I can see that some people, they can ask questions. They're able to chat. I'm not sure if there's
Yeah,
another way to do it.
yeah, the messages tend to be so many, so I usually open it intermittently, yeah, so that I can go through the messages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Mohammed.
Thank you. I would like to ask this question of this issue of putting the link. Whenever I put, it's not displaying whenever I launch the website.
The link.
Yeah, the issue of putting the link. Whenever I put it and launch the website, it's not displaying.
Have you put content between the tags?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure? Did you
Yeah.
save your file before launching?
Yeah.
There's something you've missed. I'll need to see what you've done. Okay, share your screen when you're ready.
I'm sorry, I can't share my screen because I'm using phone.
You're using phone. How am I supposed to assist you?
No, for the live session, I'm using phone.
How will I be able to assist you if I can't see your work?
How do you do, Rika?
So for the link, you need to ensure there's some content between the anchor tag. You have to ensure that if this one is missing, this visit facebook.com, if this one is missing, the content between the tags, the link will not be seen. Just showcase that.
Okay, I'll try to do it.
That is the only reason I can think of. You see, mine is gone, because the content is missing. But if I return that, there you have visit facebook.com. That is the only reason I can think of why your link is not displaying. Or you did not save your page before launching it. Those are the only two reasons I can think of.
Thank you. I will try to redo it.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Hi, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay, it's way of the HTML part. It's about the content that I'm seeing on my when I log into LMS. So is it the same content that was in the last cohort, or it has been updated?
Should have been updated. So you should be seeing web development V2, version 2. If that is not the case, please let me know.
Yeah, it's not the case from my end. I am seeing what was in the last cohort.
Okay. So we'll have that corrected as soon as possible. You should be on V2. That is the correct content.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for raising that.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
This is Kaiser. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, this is Alphonse. Can you hear me?
Yes. Proceed.
So my friend, I've asked something about saving the one with the US like accent. I've asked something about saving the files. So I was wondering, instead of, do we have another formula? Because I think there's another way of saving it every time you're coding, rather than every time you have done something you want to save. Is there another way that you can auto save it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if VS Code does an autosave. I'm not sure about that.
I think Can you open your VS Code?
If you can do it, then do it on your side. Me,
I just want, I,
the habit I'm used to. I just save all my files immediately after changing something. So if there's an autosave feature, I'm not aware. And
yeah,
anyway, we've mentioned
as-
that it's anyone's preference. If you want autosave, you can activate it on your side. Okay?
I wanted to ask so
Anybody?
that maybe
Mhm.
research on that. Maybe that next time you can help us with it if there is one.
I'm not sure. I will check, but I'm not sure if there is one.
Okay. I wanted to ask on that so that maybe because I'm wondering, because when now you have a big file, you're working on something, you have different like 3 or 4 files. See, sometimes maybe you get because maybe you're working on index.html, you're working on JavaScript, and maybe on a CSS file simultaneously. So sometimes maybe you can forget to save some CSS file when you change. So I think maybe you can do that so that it can help if there is one.
Okay, I will check, but I'm not sure there is one.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Yeah, anyone else? Just speak if you are ready. Speak if you are ready. And don't raise your hand if you do not want to speak.
Hello.
Yes, Victor.
Oh, I have a question on the HTML.
Yes.
Instead of struggling to write the header section part. Hello?
Yes, Victor.
Okay, can we just after creating the .html file, we just write the exclamation mark, then we click enter.
Preference once again. If that is what you prefer, please go ahead. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, George.
Yes, on the website that I've just created.
Yeah.
The reference, the link that I've written, the link I've written, it's not being separated from the body. Like I wanted it to appear on a different line, but it is not appearing on a different line. I don't know why.
Yeah, check your code. There's something amiss because an anchor tag is usually a single line item. It appears on its own line, regardless of where you place it.
Can you please you can hear me?
Yes, I've heard your question.
Oh, I thought I'd share my screen. You see what's happening.
Okay, you can proceed. You can proceed.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you can see
Good
my
afternoon.
screen.
Just a minute, Moses. Yes. Yes,
You can
George.
see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when I'm opening the website, this link here, I wanted it to appear on a different line, just down here, but it's not.
Let me see your code. Yeah, what is wrong with your code? I want you to tell me what is wrong with your code.
It is above body. Bring the body down. The second part of body.
The
Who
second,
is that?
Yes, that place.
That
this
is
one.
Moses. Yeah, we
Yes.
said
Copy that.
everything.
Should be inside the body.
We said
So
every
go
content
to
should be inside the
let's go.
body.
Yes, let's
And
go. Go to let's
also,
go. Let's go.
Moses, Moses.
Sir?
Okay, thank you, Moses. We said every content should be inside the body. Number two, you do not have a closing HTML tag or a closing header tag. Yeah, so bring everything inside the body. From the anchor tag, the footer, let it be inside the body. The header, H1 and H6, they all need to be inside the body. And for your paragraph, for the paragraph, you need the paragraph tag. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, make that correction.
Okay.
Was next?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay, I'd like to ask a question about the class timings. We could only see one on the class in this class sections. I want to ask, is it just going to be one class all through the day?
No, it is not. As I said in the beginning, we have one link for the entire day. The class sessions still remain 3 within the day, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6:30 p.m. in the evening. So that is all in East African time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, anyone else?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, I would like to ask a question on the assignment. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
So my question is, so since when I open the link for the assignment, it takes me to GitHub, and then the assignment instructions are on the README file, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, I edit the README file and answer the questions there, or complete the assignment in the README file and then commit the changes, right? That's the right process.
You do not edit the README file. You need to create a new file. The instructions are very clear. Create an index.html file, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, create an index.html file.
And then after creating, I'm going to do that in my IDE, right? In my Visual Studio Code.
You can do it from VS Code. You can do it from GitHub desktop. You can do it right from GitHub, the GitHub website. Choice is yours. So as long as when you finish, you need to commit the changes back to the repository.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I was asking, this class, will you share the notes right away after this class for some of us to get to understand better?
The content notes are on LMS, but there will also be a video recording. So give me at least an hour for the video to render, and then I will share it on LMS. On LMS, under the module week 1, there's a section for class recordings that where you'll find the recordings there. But otherwise, the LMS week 1, you'll find each and everything that we've learned today, and also links to additional resources on the same.
It's okay, thank you. I was actually asking for this class because I've been accessing the other videos. Okay.
Okay, the recording will be made available once it's done rendering. Yeah, anyone else before I wind up? I see we are 20 minutes past our time. Yes?
Just before you close.
Yes.
My question is with regards to the main element and the header element within the body. Is that you said it's semantic elements? So I just wanted to find out, they used to, with regards to the header, to structure the body of the content.
Mm-hmm. Your question? I haven't gotten your question. We lost him. Yep. Anyone else? Anyone else?
I'm sorry, but my network is not working with me. But what I want to ask was, with the main and the header in the body of the website, does it help with regards to aligning everything right, just like the footer, adding the disclaimer? Is that the job of the main and the header within the body structure?
Yes, to some extent, they do help with aligning. But when it comes to alignment, maybe they wouldn't assist as much because it's like a placeholder container. Yeah? It's just like a placeholder container. Like when you're structuring your web page, the first section at the very top is the header, the middle section is the main section, and the bottom section is the footer section. So it's just a placeholder, but it adds more readability to your code. When it comes to the actual position of elements, I think you need to introduce some form of styling so that you can actually position your elements correctly on your web page. I think we've lost him again. Okay, anyone else? I'll end this in the next 5 minutes.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
I have a question, mostly on something I've observed while we were writing the anchor tag. So I was able to follow every step, but if you'd allow me to copy, while we were writing the facebook.com, visit facebook.com, and I pressed enter on the first suggestion, it brought a different version of code from the one you've given us. So I wanted to know if there's a difference between that and what we have. So I was wondering if I can copy it in the Q&A so that you can see what I mean.
Yeah, sure. Let me just Okay.
So this is what I saw before you gave us the other format. So is this any different from what we have?
Yeah, this one is totally different. Yeah, the syntax is totally off. The syntax is incorrect. Let me just paste this for you. Sorry.
Yeah, this is what I used, the one that you have copied, but the first one is what was suggested before I finished following the instructions. That is.
Yeah, that one was not correct. The syntax is completely off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see. Anyone else? You have 3 minutes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Moses.
Okay, thank you. When I press F5 and it shows visit Facebook, clicking on it is giving error.
What error?
Let me show you. Can I show you?
Just describe the error. On the browser. It's giving an error on the browser.
Yes, if you click on visit, it will cannot get facebook.com.
Are you sure you use the correct destination address?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
Doesn't sound like you're sure.
I'm sure.
Can you paste your code on the Q&A so that I can see?
Okay.
Okay, so anyone else, or I can wind up?
Hello.
Yes.
Is there a preferable browser for working with web pages, or any is just fine?
Any is just fine. Most modern web browsers are just okay. It's only a few years back when we had an issue, but I think nowadays most modern browsers should be fine. As long as it is up to date, I don't see any issue.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you very much. I have been following and I am actually understanding your teaching, sir.
You're
Well,
welcome.
yes, sir. I was going through the LMS and it's concerning the submission of the assignment, sir. Yeah, so I read the assignment and I was doing it. I want to know whether I should update the README in the repository.
No, you're not updating the README file.
Yes, sir. Should I create a new file?
You are creating a new file, index.html, and then push it to the repository. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, then after that, I just copy the link and paste it.
Yes, copy the link once you're done and paste it on the LMS.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I think I've exhausted all questions. Moses, I'm still waiting for your error. Yeah, I've noted the issue of, for those ones who are seeing the content for August 2024. Yeah, I'll have that corrected as soon as possible. Yeah, so just please bear with me. But anyway, anyone else? I don't want to lock anyone out before I end the session.
Okay, so in response to what you've told Moses,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, our assignment should be in HTML format.
Sorry?
Okay, okay. My question is in response to what you've told Moses in regards to submission of the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Is it supposed to be in HTML format?
Yeah. The assignment is in HTML.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I heard you told someone in the beginning that on the LMS it should be Web Technologies version 2.
Yeah, it should be V2.
Mine is still on V1, and I'm in the new cohort. I wasn't in the previous one.
Okay. So
I think all of us, it's still V1 because I've confirmed with others also.
Okay.
Yes,
So I'll have that addressed as soon as possible. Once we leave this session.
Okay.
I've been able to correct it.
That Moses.
Yes, I've been able to correct it. It's working now.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyone else? Duncan?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, regarding the assignment, so are we to just do it like make changes to it on the GitHub, or we can do it on VS, then we push it to GitHub?
However you choose to do it, it's fine. If you want to do it from the GitHub website or any other program, it is fine.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that is we've exhausted everyone. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Apologies. We have gone a bit off our time limits, but I really hope you got to learn something. And once again, congratulations so much for creating and displaying your very first web page. That is very, very commendable. It was a pleasure. So I'll have the issue of the LMS corrected as soon as possible, but still do not forget your assignment, your quiz, and your survey. Please look into that. Once this video is done, I'll make sure to upload the recording as soon as it's done rendering. So next week we'll be covering advanced HTML, where we get to interact with forms, tables, lists, images, and so on and so forth. So I hope to see you next week. Otherwise, thank you so much and have a very, very good evening.